How did I bring my dreams alive? Why, with a Anchor podcast, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor does the hard work and distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can even make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to Anchor FM to get started. So what are we going to be talking about on Say It Loud? I'm trying to line up a couple episodes for you guys with a couple of different guests. But in the interim, I sit in my car and things come to me, and that's when I talk to you guys. So I wanted to do a show about healthy boundaries because I feel like I was I'm 41, so maybe about last year, I really kind of dug into what a healthy boundary was and what that meant to me and what that meant to my family and what that meant to things in my life and like how to implement those, and that people would get offended if I said, you know what, I don't want to talk about my ex-husband, or I don't want to talk about my brother's personal life, or I don't want to talk about my sister's personal life, and creating those healthy boundaries. Not to say that someone can't ask you how is so-and-so doing, but just creating boundaries where you're like, you know what, this is not what I want to engage in. This is not what I want to do. This is not the kind of conversation I want to have with you. Maybe I'll have it with my mother or my cousin or my best friend, but not necessarily somebody that just asks. And, sometimes having healthy boundaries, in my opinion, from what I've seen in my personal life and setting those boundaries, has come off as, selfish. Like, you're being selfish. And I don't think that me having healthy boundaries is being selfish. I think that I've been taught, like, give in, like, be nice and give in, and you got to do this and you got to do that because it looks good and it makes other people happy. And you're creating, healthy relationships with other people at the expense of yourself. And so I had to learn, like, this is not what my gut is telling me to do. This is not what I feel like I want to do. And so I understand where it may seem like I'm being selfish, but at the same time, I have to set some boundaries for myself. I don't always want to be giving to everybody else and taking from myself, or giving to everybody else and taking from my children. Sometimes I have to be like, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to go to somebody's house. I don't want to go to their party. I don't want to send a card. I don't want to have this conversation because I don't feel like I should, or it doesn't resonate with me, or it's not comfortable with me. I was at work the other day and I was in the lunchroom and I said something to one of the other teachers, and she was like, Karen, I'm setting healthy boundaries, not at lunch. And I was like, I respect it. I wasn't offended. I wasn't hurt. I actually agree with what she's saying. Like, when I have lunch and it's time for me to turn my brain off, I don't want to be talking about work, and I don't want to be engulfed in what we have to do. I need a brain break, and I got that. And I think that it's important to set healthy boundaries, not just with strangers, but with the people that are your friends, with the people that are your family. Like, anyone who knows me and knows I'm a friend, I don't really ask too many questions of my friends. If they want to share their life and they want to share their personal stories with me or what's going on in their life, then that's fine. And I accept it and I engage. And if they don't, that's okay too. It's okay to go through something and be like, I'm not ready to discuss this with anyone. I'm not ready to share this with this person. Or I don't like how they move, so I'm not sharing it with them. And we kind of taught, to not be like that, because we have to give. Like, this person needs of you and this person wants, and this is what you're socially supposed to do and what's accepted and how to maneuver. But in reality, I feel like you don't have to do that. You don't have to have those conversations. You don't have to be put on the spot. It's kind of like, I get it all the time, and it drives me insane when people ask me questions about my ex-husband. It drives me insane because I'm not married to that man anymore. What happens in his life and what he does is his life, and he's entitled to do it, just like my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my aunts, my uncle, even my mom and dad. And I don't have anything to discuss with anyone. There's nothing for me to say. I don't know how he is. I barely speak with him. Why are you asking me that? And I've actually cut off a lot of people in my life because I felt like every time I was around them, that's what they wanted to talk about. And if my kid was around, I was like, that's not healthy. we need to set a boundary. My son has a relationship with his father. It's none of anybody else's business. And I don't want to talk about somebody I'm not with. Matter of fact, even if I'm with someone and I'm in a relationship, I don't want to talk to certain people about it. It's none of your business. If I choose to share it with you, then I will share it with you. And if I choose not to share it with you, then I choose not to share it with you. I don't like being put on the spot and people asking me questions beyond their boundaries. I really don't. And I feel like I know that there's certain people going through things and they have to go through it before they're ready to share. When my brother-in-law died, my sister was like, yo, people keep coming and talking to me and telling me how they feel, but imagine how I feel. Now you just dumped your feelings. And I really do feel there's a transfer of energy with people, no matter what the situation is, right? You ever get on the phone with someone and before you spoke to them, you felt good, and then you got off and you felt bad? There's a transfer of energy. So now somebody's transferring their energy onto you for shit that you didn't even ask for. Like, I didn't ask to know that. I don't care. But I feel like we're in a society, especially with social media, where people are posting I'm in the hospital and people are posting this and posting that. Rarely do we post the bad shit, but when we do, everybody's speculating, right? We speculate fast. We run to conclusions fast. We talk shit as a people really fast. There's whole magazines in the supermarket that's just full of chatting people business. And I think that we need I don't know about y'all, but I have set some healthy boundaries, and I will continue to do so because there's certain places in my life that are just not up for me to share with certain people. And I don't think they should be offended. I don't think they should be mad, because guess what? I live my life that, do whatever you want to do. Be happy. And however you choose to be happy is on you. And I respect that. And you don't need to validate that with me. The only people that need to validate that with me, who I ask questions to, are my children, because they're my children, and I'm going to go to bat for them at 100 every single time. But anybody else, if my mom and my dad said I'm turning vegan, or I'm turning gay, or I'm turning this, or I'm turning that, or I don't want to fuck with this person no more, guess what? You could tell me and I would say, I agree or I disagree. And that's that. And that's how we need. I don't think everybody needs to look at life like that. I can't tell people how to look at life, but I do think we need to set healthy boundaries for ourselves. Because not only is someone else projecting into your life, whatever that question or however that may go down, but then what are you comfortable with? What are you comfortable with? Because I've been uncomfortable before, and I was like, I don't want to feel like that. So now I'm going to just start telling people, like, you're making me uncomfortable. I don't want to have this discussion. I can't talk to you right now. The other day I was on the phone with someone, and they were barking on me, and I was not in the mood. Like, I was already dealing with enough. Car accident, my car in the shop, pick it up, take it off, blah, 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 blah. And I had to be like, I'll call you back. And they kept going, and I was like, I'll call you back. I don't have nothing bad to say to you, and I hear what you're saying to me, but I can't take this on right now. I can't take it on right now. So I'm going to call you back when I'm in a space that I could take it on. And I think the person pretty much got what I was saying, because later they texted me and was just like, I'm sorry, whatever. And they didn't even need to apologize to me. It wasn't them. It was just that I'm not in that space right now. They didn't do anything wrong. Their intention was good. It was loving. I get it. But I'm just not in a space to take. The way you coming at me right now with everything that I'm dealing with in front of me right now, can't do that right now with you. And so I think it's important that we realize who we are, and that we realize what we stand for, and then we realize, okay, how do we set these boundaries? Because we tend to grow our children in the same habits that we do, right? They do what they see us do. And so if they're not seeing us create those, then guess what? They're 40 years old when they realize, if they ever do realize, because some people don't ever, that I need to create a healthy boundary. I told someone the other day, I do not take phone calls and emails from work on the weekends unless it's pertaining to the TV show, or to the radio, or to my passion projects. Yes. To my work, no, I don't. Healthy boundary. Like, you got me. I work for you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You don't pay me for more than 40 hours, so I'm not working for you for more than 40. I'm not on call. We don't pay me for on call. I'm not doing it. And I've had people complain, like, she don't check her emails on the weekend. No, I check them, and I see them. I'm just not responding to you. Because then it creates a habit that you think you can do that. You can't. And so healthy boundaries look a lot of different ways. Like, there's even healthy boundaries with your children. I had to tell Jace, like, I'm going out. You're going to go to grandma's house. But I don't want to go to grandma's house. Okay, but we do what you want to do all the time. We go to the movies, we go to the park, we go bowling, we go to basketball. Mommy sits there and does that for you, right? But then when mommy needs to do something, you have to understand that I make sacrifices for you, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices for me. So we go in a grandma house, and you're going to chill there for a little bit, and there's video games and food and TV, and you're fine. And then I'm going to come back and get you. But it has to be a healthy boundary. And we have conversations about that all the time. When he's upset, he go in the closet, he shut the door, and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to give you a few minutes to calm down. I understand. Even a child. Anyhow, we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to get some people together. We're going to be talking about healthy boundaries and how we set them, what that looks like. Can we do it? Can we not do it? Where we learn these behaviors from? It's Say It Loud. It's the Snippets. It's dropping 2020, January 1st. Website 2020, January 1st. In the interim, I'm going to be putting these snippets up. We're going to have the car talks. We're going to get the crew all together. We're going to start taping and bring it all to you live. Yeah? The beautiful thing about a podcast, you can listen to me over and over again, or you can listen to me whenever you want. So there you go. Every day when you get in your car and you're about to go and you need some lesson, or you got something on your mind and you say, you know what, I need someone to talk to me, like my big sis, or set me straight, listen to Say It Loud. Or you can go ahead and send me messages and I'll respond to your questions, whatever you ask, as possible, as much as I can, as authentic as I can possibly be, because I think everybody needs that from time to time. All right? We out.